Welcome back with another Star Trek The Animated Series episode review. Today's episode is the Lorelei signal. In this episode, the Enterprise is investigating in the Taurine star system. They're looking after a ship that disappeared in 27 years before. The Enterprise gets an SOS, a distress call. So they put this message on the speaker. Suddenly, the male members of the Enterprise, they got like hypnotized because of this signal. It reminded me actually of the sirens. You know, back in the days when we all had read pirate stories and pirate movies, we've seen pirate movies, there was this mysterious lady creature. So she had this song what hypnotizes men, and she could actually capture anyone. This is what I realized happening here as well. There's some sort of distress signal what only affects men. And it's like 20 million light years away from the Enterprise. So the Enterprise go there and investigate. And they're going down the landing party, of course, Kirk, Spock, Bones, and one guy in a red shirt. So they found this planet. In the surface there's only a woman. Which makes us think, okay, it's like they already got hypnotized by a woman, and then of course when they saw them, they got hypnotized even more. So after meeting the leader of this group of female, they got entertained, and then so they became drunk at the end, and they sort of fainted out, and the women abducted them. After the abduction, they got a headband actually, and they started to get old. And they tried to find out what's going on, but the women of this planet didn't really want to let them go anywhere else. So at the beginning I thought this headband, this must be a transmitter or something. It drains the brain energy from them, and that's what actually happens. The function of those red bands actually to get the signal out from their brain, and these women technically getting all the energy from their brain signal. So they got to live, and the male hosts got to die. So when the landing party realizes this, they actually try to escape from this place. So they managed to hide somewhere, but they obviously need to contact with the Enterprise. But their communication devices were actually been taken away. So Spock, being the one with a different body structure and being with the different physiology and strength level, of course, he goes back to this castle to actually retrieve the communicators and get help from the Enterprise. Meanwhile, in the Enterprise, of course, all the crew members are getting this feeling, getting drunk because of this signal. I really like the fact when Uhura took over the command of the Enterprise. Even Miss Chapel was a bit surprised, like, you can't do that, you will take over the Enterprise. It's like, yes, I have to do that because all the men are, well, technically useless. She didn't said that, but that was mainly the point. Because what can you do with a bunch of drunk-looking men who actually not drunk, but you know, so infanticized. So Lieutenant Uhura takes over the ship, and they got a message from Mrs. Spock. So they beam down, and they find actually Mrs. Spock, but Mrs. Spock looked horrible because he got even in the stage when he looked more older than the others. Uhura goes to the woman leader basically, and of course she needs an explanation. The leader, called Tila, explains to Uhura what's going on in the planet. The planet has this sort of biological field that actually drains the energy from the man. Funny enough, the females actually getting immortality, which I think it's even a bigger prison than getting died. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to, either of them, but it seems like immortality is a bigger prison than being as mortal. After this story, they found out where the other crewmates, and they beam aboard, but of course they had to stop the function because they are too old. They can't revert the process. And Spock, funny enough, pointed out there's a transporter pattern what actually the computer stores from everyone while you're getting transported. So they could use those patterns actually to reorganize the cells and the DNA in the body. So in English, they became the normal them. As I said in the previous videos, some of these episodes, well, till this episode, I think all of them had a plot line would actually made it to the movie scene, or made it to a movie or an episode. And it happened here as well, because if you think about season 2, The Next Generation, there's an episode called Unnatural Selection, and basically something similar happens, but with everyone else. It's a genetic mutation, but how they solve the problem? They actually transport back the people, and they reorganize their transporter pattern with the old pattern, so they got the same body structure as before, which is actually quite clever if you think about it. We have the transport technology, so you can do whatever you want. So I really like the episode. I have to say, so coming backwards from TNG, I have to say, okay, I realized, okay, actually I'm almost watching a TNG episode, but it wasn't really a TNG episode. Of course, this the TNG episode came from this episode, and it's very interesting. To see after all these years, like, okay, TNG basically told the story to us what happened in the animated series, and was it intentional? Wasn't it intentional? Or maybe it's luck, or maybe of course it was a different setting if you think about it, because they've been in a different planet and the kids were affected with some sort of genetic mutation. So that's a totally different setting, but the solution was the same, and it was very clever. So yeah, the episode itself raised the question at the end regarding the female beings in the planet. Rather, is being immortal, it's a good thing or not? A lot of movie talking about immortality and getting a longer life, and this episode basically reflected at the end. Those women lived in that planet for such a long time, and now they ready to go out and live a normal life and being mortal again. So it was quite touching, getting to know their stories at the end. These are short episodes, so 25 minutes. You can't really expect a long explanation or a long scene to actually being discovered. But this is really interesting, and I have to say I do admire the people who actually made this series back then, because even in this 25 minutes, they actually says a lot of things about issues and mortality and mortality. This could be actually one issue here. So my ratings for this episode, I think I would give 5 out of 5. I totally liked it. I don't have anything else to dislike it. I would actually think about maybe 4 out of 5, but that's because the TNG episode. But then if you forget about the TNG, if you didn't see the episode, the animated series one, now, but you saw the Next Generation one, I would say just watch it with an open mind, because it's brilliant. Honestly, it's brilliant. And spoiler alert, hearing Mrs. Scott singing in the bridge, well, yeah, no offense though. So it was a really interesting episode. I really enjoyed watching it, and I'm looking forward to the next one for next Wednesday. So make sure you will stay tuned. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you check out my website, where I publish all the geeky stuff and all the other mind-melding experience what I have. Even Star Trek Discovery news. Now guys, stay tuned. Don't forget to check out my Instagram account, where I publish geeky pictures or even random pictures with other stuff every week. So as always, thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next video. Live long and prosper. Nice. So this is exactly the menu. So we have play, we have special features, scene selection. Ah, this is gorgeous, actually. Quite simple, but gorgeous. Yes, so little Summer from the movie. Nice.